Yes, people, it's silent business. You know what time it is. Back again with another one. I'm just a messenger, don't shoot. And today, people, yeah, man, we're gonna have a little conversation about Montserrat. Hopefully I can interview quite a few people, about Montserrat, the future of Montserrat, the history of Montserrat. Because one thing I've noticed is that the younger lot that's literally grown up in maybe the UK, America, other parts of the world, don't really know much about Montserrat in general. You understand? So we've literally got experienced Montserratians, and we're just gonna ask them a few questions. Let me, would you like to introduce yourself to the people, let them know who you are, where you're from, a bit about yourself?
Well, I'm Aussie Blue, Aussie Cartie. Most people know me as Aussie Cartie or Aussie Blue. And was living in the United States, New York to be exact, for 3 decades and returned home. This is where I want to be, back home in Montserrat, and to rejuvenate the culture, as I'm part of culture growing up with Hammer International. Those of you know Hammer International back in the day. And yeah, I'm back and ready for your questions, bro.
All right, cool. First question, and we're gonna try to keep it light, and then we're gonna get into it a bit more. The Montserrat, the UK Montserrat Festival was like a week ago.
Did they
And
make a week ago?
yeah,
Yes.
about a week ago.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, was you performing at the Montserrat UK Festival?
Yes, I was. I did perform.
Yeah.
My sect was.
If you listen to his live every Sunday morning, right? This is the guy right here. Please welcome Aussie. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. One session.
3:35 to 3:50, but they were running late because of weather, inclement weather and stuff. So everything was pushed back a little bit. But I did perform around 4 or 5 and got my 2 songs in, Estrange and No Caliber. As you know, Estrange is about our Montserrat people being sent abroad, being taken abroad. And so they seem like they have no rights in Montserrat. It's okay for them to contribute in any and every way, except they cannot vote.
Okay,
And
explain that to me, because I've been living in England for over 20 years, right? So I don't know much about the legal system or the politics in Montserrat, so to speak. Explain what do you mean if you're a Montserratian, but if you're living abroad, you're not allowed to vote or something like that?
well, this is the case, and I think it's part of the what you call legislature and the government. They all have to get together and rewrite this script, because our Montserratians they did not volunteer to go away. They did not want to leave, but because of the situation with the volcano, they had to leave. They had to leave so some people can survive. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody could not be in the north. You got 10,000 people could not stay in Montserrat at the time. So you have to have some people, just like a garden. If you got weeds around crop, it's not gonna be fruitful. You have to weed out some. Well, some people were forced to leave Montserrat and make their home abroad.
Yeah.
And so now what it is that you're a Montserratian, you're living abroad, and you become estranged because you cannot be part of what's going on with regards to our election and being part of our election process.
Yeah.
And I think personally, if you are an investor, if you are a born Montserratian and you are an investor, let's say, for instance, you got a home, you're paying taxes, you got workers there that you pay continuously.
Yeah.
I think you have a right to have a say, or they should at least start visiting these kind of situations for people. Because the more we encourage our people abroad, and get them involved in Montserrat,
Yeah.
is the more they're gonna feel that urge to want to come back home. You can't dissect them and leave them out and expect that they're gonna have this heart filled for Montserrat.
I understand a little bit about what you're saying, right? But let me ask you a question. Don't you think more people, like a lot of people, especially from Montserrat, come abroad in countries like this. And let's say, for instance, in the UK, there's something like the benefit system. You don't necessarily have to work. You can literally get free money off the government. And obviously, if you're here long enough and you go through the system a certain way, you can get housing. So for some people, they're thinking, you know what, this is a cozier life. This is easier. I don't really have to struggle like I maybe would have in Montreal. I'm not really too sure, right? So what would you say for the people that are comfortable and settled in and don't want to go back to Montreal to help build the infrastructure?
Be honest with you, there are going to be people like this, regardless to what sector, whether you're a Czech or Turkey or America, because the system allows for this. Now, those who feel that that's where their life limit them to, more powers to that, more powers to them. I feel as a overseas territory, British overseas territory, I feel some of the benefits that are attributed to you living in the United Kingdom, they should be automatic if you want to go back home to Montserrat. Why? Because we are British subject citizens. So why is it that you could give me $20 in the UK, and if I say, okay, let me go to Montserrat, why is it that it's a hardship to give me the £20 to live in Montserrat? That's where I would want to be. That's where I prefer to be. Now you have those young, innovative young people who came up and they're studying and they all have this mindset. They are coming back home eventually once they get certain things. You know what I'm saying? And I am welcoming anyone to let's get the ball rolling to try and get our people migrate back to Montserrat. Because with our population, my brother, we are not going to succeed. Businesses cannot survive with our population. And I know you got another question, but when I look at Wrigley Field, the amount of people who run through here is more people than living in Montserrat.
Yeah.
And this sector here can survive daily with just this kind of flow. If we have another 1,000 people come back to Montserrat, trust me, it will be a lot better for businesses, for new businesses, and for businesses who are struggling. All it takes is continuous monies.
You see, and that's another thing as well, right? Okay, like say for instance, we work with you and say, all right, and cool. And this is just hypothetical, right? 1,000 people decide, okay, let's migrate back to Montreal, right? What is the infrastructure like when it comes to monetizing their skills? Is there enough work to go around for 1,000 people where they can live okay? You understand where I'm coming from, and not having to regret leaving England to try and work on a project where realistically most people probably don't know where it's gonna go.
Right.
You understand?
No, I'm gonna tell you slowly. I've been making this push for retirees because it's best.
Sorry, one second. Let me speak to my camera people at the back. MBC, how is he appearing on this side of the camera? Is he too much out of shot? Is he central? Yes. Like push over that side a bit. No, push over that side. That side, no, go over that side. Yeah. Try and keep that separation.
Okay.
He's more in the central now, right? Yeah. Try and keep that separation.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Back to what you were saying.
I've been pushing for retirees.
Yeah.
And I've been drawing references. If somebody is 50 years old and they owe 15 more years on a mortgage in America, and I'm drawing reference to America because that's where I was
Understand.
for all this time. Now, if you owe 50 years, some people are 60 years and still got 15 years to go on a mortgage. Now, if your home is valued, let's say, 600,000, and you already paid 15 years into it.
Yeah.
So let's say you got 300,000 in the kitty and 300 that you owe the bank.
Okay, yeah.
Now you could sell that home and you could pay off the bank and you got your 300 coming back to Montserrat. At 60 years old, you have the option if you want to invest in a brand new home or invest in a refurbished home, or you could rent, because there are a lot of people who put a lot of funds into building new homes
Yeah.
and say, my children and grandchildren. Bro, at this stage and rate, grandchildren, they're not thinking about Montserrat.
Yeah.
And that's the obvious. And we have to face it. We have to start thinking about getting back our mid people and getting back retirees. Because if you have 500 retirees spending $5,000 a month and you got 500, you're talking about $250,000
Yeah, yeah.
US and
Into the economy.
into the economy. And this has nothing to do that they are going out to work, they're trying to pull back in money. No, this is money that could be flowing continuously every month. That is a big kick to that sector. Now, what we have to do, and I've spoken on a lot of it, and by the way, this is Aussie Blue from the Aussie Blue Facebook Live, Sunday Live. So I don't know, I could have said that.
No,
but,
of course,
yeah.
of course. No
So-
problem. I have no problem with that.
So yeah, as I've been saying, and I've been saying it a lot of times on my program, when you have no vision as regards to our people left 30 years ago, what should have been done is 10 years into this 20, 30 year setback.
Yeah.
They should have already had plans for homes, to start building homes, start making lands available for low income, because everybody not going to come up here and be successful.
Yeah, true.
And we have to still bring back our people, whether they're high income or low income. Housing. If we had planned for housing, a lot of people would have been back home. And the more people you get back home is the more you got the vision of getting private
'Cause,
sector.
let me just come in one sec. Because I hear in Montserrat, housing is a bit of an issue.
It
And,
is.
Obviously, and listen, I'm not going to pretend, right? You can castrate me for this, but it's the truth. Since I've been to the UK, I've not been back to Montserrat,
Okay.
right? So I'm literally one of these scandalous people.
Right.
I'm not even going to pretend I'm one of these scandalous people. But the type of work I do is to, talk about Montserrat, take pictures of our people, go to these events,
Right.
and try to get people to, share bits and pieces about Montserrat. Because to me, the younger generation don't really know much apart from my mom or my dad
Right.
is from Montserrat. Ask them about the history, what's our national dish, our national food, simple stuff like
Simple
that.
stuff.
They
Right.
don't really know. You understand where I'm coming
Right.
from, right? So I try to, at this moment in time, give back a little bit. To me, it's not even enough, right? I try to give back just a little bit because I will be getting back to the country soon enough,
Right.
right? So what I want to know, because to me, we've got so much land in Montserrat, right? So I don't really know how the politics really works. So how is it possible that we've got a shortage of housing for Montserratians if they want to go back to the country and live and invest back into the country?
Well, nothing has been put in place. We have a new government now and we're asking for patience, but nothing was put in place for the returning of the Montserratians that left.
Okay.
And so there's this notion that there's an argument coming up where if we do this, if you build it, they will come. You build it, they will come. And that's the mindset we have to start taking. Now, in America, and the American government wants to make a road. If he wants to make a road from here to, say, France,
Yeah.
they're making that road, and whoever land that they go through, what they do is they put your money in escrow and they go through, because you can't hold back national national boost.
Yeah.
You cannot because of land. And in Montserrat, there's a lot of land, that good land, housing land, development land, and nothing is being done with them 100 years. And you're going to have the same recycled family dispute and this, and so lands are being held up all
So,
over.
okay, understandable that lands are being held up. But what about if one of the problems that we have is some of us Montserratians are uneducated to the point where you don't know what to do. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Right? They wouldn't know, for instance, if I got a land, how do I go about retrieving my land? And if there's a legal process, right? How much are the fees going to cost for this legal process? So there's so much. And as I said, if you don't know, for some people, they don't know how to seek the information. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Right.
Right. So we have to take that into account that some of us ain't as clever as like yourself that knows how the game works.
So my first thing would
So
be,
obviously, no, sorry, one sec. So obviously, if they were seeking help, guidance, how do I go about such? Where would this help or this guidance come from to, yo, this is where you go to, this is where you look, this is how you,
my first thing would be, if they have family back there,
Yeah.
if they have family back there, then they communicate with their family. They can get information and give information to the land and survey department. First of all, if you got names of deceased or whatever, that's the process. There's a UK office here, Government of Montserrat UK office.
okay, yeah.
You could probably tap into that. And once you have information, certain information, to take a lead,
Yes.
because you have to give something in order for you have trail,
Yeah, yeah.
to make a trail.
trade-off.
Right. So I would suggest they get involved with, get in contact with the UK office, the government Montserrat UK office, or directly, family members are back there, they can get in touch with the Montserrat London Survey office. That's the route I would suggest to them.
Yeah, yeah.
Or they can just have somebody there do that process there for them, you know?
Okay, okay, I hear that. I hear that. Because listen, people, there you go. You literally just got the information. If you got land in Montserrat, you need the help knowing anything about Montserrat, right? You've got the UK office. You know, you can literally write back a phone back. Literally, we got phones nowadays, there's social media. You can contact back in Montserrat and find out the required information you need to know. So if you don't know, now you know the information. So get knowing and sort out what you need to sort out. All right, people. You
Yes,
get
that's what
me?
they need.
But yeah, man. Yeah. Let's kind of move on now, right? How d- how do you think Montserrat's history influences its approach when it comes to tourism, cultural representation today?
Okay. I've made some suggestions as regards to getting people, getting people to know Montserrat. Networking is key. And presently, they're doing a fine job. It's Antigua Carnival right now, presently.
Yeah.
And we have the Montserrat Tourist Board have a booth there in Antigua. And so this would help to get us out there, because Antigua is very big when it comes to culture and their carnival.
I agree. Yeah.
But I would say we have to do as much networking as possible. We have to get out there, even if we have to send ambassadors out to various countries, to various functions abroad, and we have to make a presence, because no more sitting back and just wait nonchalantly for your turn, for your carnival to.
I agree that we have to make a presence, but again, it goes back to the uneducated bunch. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Because we've got, like, say, a lot of Montserratians. I'm not saying they're stupid to the point that they
Right.
don't know ABC 1+1 and yada yada, right? But I mean, do they know what to do when it comes to, okay, how do I help my country? Do you understand where I'm coming from? Right? Like, can I go out there on my own, even with 2 or 3 people, and help to represent my country, help to put my country on the map? You know, I mean, help to maybe get some funding for my country, you know, have ideas to maybe build up maybe like a go-karting track, a little theme park where other people from the Caribbean can come and get involved. And do,
Right.
do
Okay.
you understand where I'm coming from?
I
Because
see
to
where you,
me, it feels like most people from our country are not educated enough to even embark on a journey like that.
the initiative, they would not,
Yeah,
right.
because it seems
Right.
like we've got up into a country like this and it's all about entertainment and fun instead of educating ourselves and taking what we can when it comes to information from countries like this to better our country.
Right. Well, I think things are changing now with the younger people.
Yeah.
A lot of things are changing because people that grow up in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, they are of a different mindset. They're not into saying that they're going to want to get deep into doing this, doing that for the country,
Yeah.
because they already probably did their part. Now I think the young folks, and they are much smarter than when we were growing up.
Okay.
And with technologies and all this, I know we have some young minds in Montserrat, and it's amazing to see the things that they do on ground with little knowledge,
Yes.
with little knowledge.
Yes.
And if they can tap into bigger islands, bigger countries, see some of the things. And I think we always say government this and government that. I think we have to take the initiative to, if this is what you want to do, you
I
go
agree.
out.
I agree,
You
100%.
you go out and you find out the grassroots of how to get it done. Now,
100%.
I've been doing some things on my own,
Yeah.
and I don't go out look for money and look for charity, look for help. I do things on my own, and I've been doing it for 25 years or more. And I have a charity that I really look into, and where benefit from what I'm doing. But if you were to ask me, how do you get monies? I would say it's my personal funds, because I would not even know where to start of getting charity, getting sponsorship and stuff like this. There are a lot of us in that era who did things on our own. Now the young people and them know how to incorporate businesses, how to incorporate another island, maybe an alma mater, or they went to university somewhere and they know how to tap into these things. And there are universities out there where a lot of our young people went and studied, where are waiting to help. And they would love to help even third world countries. You know what I'm saying? And we have to find out ways of how we do this, how we can tap into these things here, you know?
There's ways, right? But one problem that I think our people have, in a sense, and it's the kind of the problem that a lot of the world has, you know, they're waiting on a specific type of leader, specific type of leadership that say, listen, I'm investing in this, I've got this done, I need you guys to come and do the rest. Kind of like how everybody's kind of waiting on Jesus to come and save them from all the hardship and all the toils. You understand? It's no different to our country where it's like, what is our leadership like? What is our governance like? You know, is our government helping to, you know, encourage the people to come back? Is the government helping to, you know, come up with the right plans to invest in the infrastructure to make even Montserrat thinking, you know what? This is looking good. I really don't mind being a part of this. I don't really have a lot of money, but the money I have, I will gladly fly down there and just pull up a little one place and go and do what I need to do. You understand? Because we know, so when it comes to food, we don't have to have no money for food.
Right.
Has it? Come on.
Mm-hmm.
A man can go fish. A man can get some food off of the land where nobody grown, and nobody land, and nobody own that.
Mm-hmm.
You understand where I come from?
Yes.
So food would not be such a problem, an issue like that. You
Right.
understand? So
for the first time in 10 to 15 years, I've noticed this new government, we got to give them a chance. They're only like what, 9, 10 months?
Now
It's
I'm
not-
just asking because I
no,
don't know
I'm
much
just,
about the new
yes.
government.
So I'm, they're in office 10 months.
Yeah.
And what we need to do is just be patient up to a year. Let's see the proposals. Let's see the initiatives, because there's a lot of talk on the table. And if those talks come to fruition,
Yeah.
it can work. But we have to let those talks that are on the table, let them grow a little bit. Let's see if it's just lying there on the table, dormant, or what have you, or if something's going to happen. For the first time, we know when our ministers go out, what they went out for,
Yeah.
and what they achieve on their work, what they went out to do. And we've been informed, we've been up to date on things that are going on with the country. We've been up to date on initiatives, proposals, and all sort of stuff that they are planning to do.
Yeah.
There's some things in the work, and I like what I'm hearing. I'm like what I'm seeing, because you can see, but it still take a little bit of time
Yes.
for them to grow a little bit. When you
Okay.
plant a seed, the seed got to take some time to.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes. What are some of the political challenges Montserrat faces today, and how are they being addressed? Because as I'm saying, we've got a large population in the UK, most of them, or most of us, shall I say, don't know a lot about governance and how things are operating in our own country.
Right.
Right.
No, I feel because Montserrat, 35, 40 years ago, we had a force in the region.
Yeah, keep talking, keep talking.
Montserrat had a force in the region.
Yeah.
And I feel that because of our small population, a lot of things have been overlooked by those bigger countries, those bigger islands, those bigger representatives. I think they overlooked because of our size and because of our past governments. But I think with this new government that we have and the leader, I think that Montserrat is going to be reckoned with. I think Montserrat is going to be heard.
Yes.
There's going to be a voice, because our minister, our prime minister, premier, Ruben Artimid, I think, and a lot of respect has been given to him from other governments in the region, because they know him.
Yeah.
They know him. And he's a no-nonsense guy. He knows government. And I think things are going to change, because a lot of the government, heads of government in the region, they are asking him to come to their seminars, come to their conference, and to speak. When you see something like that, it means that they have a lot of respect for that particular person. So once he's there representing Montserrat, I think we are going to be known again.
Yes.
I just believe that we are going to be a force again.
All right, cool. A different question. As part of the UK overseas territories, what more can be done to give Montserrat greater self-governance while maintaining beneficial relationships?
Bro, between you and I'm going to speak like down talk
This
now.
is it.
This is
it.
street talk
Come
now,
on now.
right?
Come on
and
now.
forget about the.
Yeah.
Listen, I feel personally the UK government is not doing enough for Montserrat. Personally, if they wanted us to be sustainable, they can send in their troops, they can send in their armies, their armed forces. They can build our port, they can build our hospital, they can build our infrastructures, they can give us that jump start based on the fact that 30 years ago we lost everything.
Yeah.
And just giving us some money here to try to do this, and half the times they send, you have to do what you call, next thing you have to bring in personnels here to do what you call analysis.
Yeah.
And the monies are going back out in the millions for people coming in to analyze, people coming in to do tests and all kind of stuff. I feel if the UK government want to give us a jump start, come in with your engineers and your architects and all your skilled workers, put down a port, put down an airport, put down the government buildings, give us that jump start, and then see where we go from there. Because it can happen.
It can. But again, wouldn't it be better if, like, our government was to come up with a good business plan that literally incorporate our people from overseas to get the work done down there? Because that would be another reason now. Because guess what now? Our people are getting paid nice money to go down there to get the work done. And guess what now? They probably have a greater mindset to be like, you know what? I want to stay here. I
Well,
want to stay here. Instead of, I get what you're saying about the jump start, but then it seems like we get the jump start, then again, where did the people come from?
yeah, but when I say get the UK
Yeah.
involved, it doesn't mean they're bringing every aspect of the workforce.
Okay,
They're gonna
that's
bring
what I
in the
thought you was.
technical.
Okay,
No, they bring
that
in
makes sense.
they bring in the technical staff,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we have locals here and back in Montserrat
That can
and
get the work
whatever.
done.
Because you have to agree, we can do certain things in Montserrat, but there's certain things that we are not going to get done right.
Yes, no, I agree.
And
True.
so you get the professional
They're very skilled in.
skill.
They're very skilled laborers in Montserrat. Though.
No, yes, nothing wrong. Yeah, I'm not going to
But it's
degrade that.
machinery
But
and
we
shit
have
stuff.
like stress factors. Okay, you're putting up a building, and instead of having monies going out, we got to bring in a stress company to say, okay, the building gonna be rocking. What about earthquake? This, that.
Yeah.
They bring in their people to do all of this, so that money we don't have to push out that money to facilitate a company coming in to do soil tests, to do structure tests and all of that. They bring in their people, and they're being paid by the UK government. The monies that are for the funds go directly into the funds. You have people up here that will be employed
Yes.
as part of what we are doing there, because you have to try to bring them back home. At the same time, you could be doing your housing, you could be building your housing, doing your lands, and because we don't have enough workforce for any big structure down there. And we have the port going down, and we have, well, the port is a little bit on the silent side, but we have the hospital going down, and we don't have enough workers on ground to do the port and to do the hospital. So here we got people up in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
You put out your tender, and let's see, we have a government office here. Let's see people go register. I can do this, I can do that. You're qualified to do this, da 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 da. Let's try and get housing going, because we have to get some temporary housing for the influx of people that are going to be coming to work. So you could have one or two projects still going down locally, while you have these UK technicians along with our UK people that live abroad and America. Whoever wants to come back home, there will be enough work for people that living abroad.
No, I agree. No, I get
But
that.
we have to start with housing. We have to put down housing, because you can't encourage people to come home and where they're going to live.
I'm gonna ask you this one more question before we move on, because people, I'm asking this question for you guys. Yeah. How does the government ensure local voices are being heard in decision-making processes?
Well, the government, they have every 2 weeks, they go around having community meetings.
Okay.
And this is a good way of getting people to voice their opinion. Yeah, the radio is good, but the radio is good for people that live in abroad and all of that. But when you have the regular Joe coming to your community meeting
Yeah.
and voicing his or her what they think, what they're feeling, it gives a closer resemblance to what's on ground. And I think once they are taking data on these community meetings, and you're keeping things in, like I said, data, you could go back and refer and say, okay, a few people spoke on this. Let's do this. Let's do that.
Yes, yeah.
Because government cannot do it all by themselves.
Sure.
You have to have the voice of the people.
And to be honest, we can't be always relying on government. You understand? Government is kind of mainly, to me, only there to, deal with the stuff that we don't want to deal with. You understand? When it comes to the international affairs, other Caribbean island affairs, you understand? And we deal with the little stuff. You understand? And we
Right.
also know that, there's quite a trust issue when it comes to Montserratians and their government.
Yeah, well, there's a trust issue, and I spoken it a few times. We have to get away from that mindset that we as Montserratians cannot hold big office, cannot hold big monies, cannot do big projects. We have to get away from that mindset that because I'm from George Street, I cannot be manager of the port. I cannot be the contractor for the hospital. We have to get away from that thing where you're seeing the money and the money should not be attributed to me because who I am and where I'm from. And we have to get away from that. And that is killing Montserrat, where people, instead of looking at the bigger picture, they look at the small monies that are being made. For instance, they might be here, we here doing this, and if somebody say, okay, you're getting paid, they want to know how much money you're getting paid, what are you going to do with the money, and they're not going to ask you tomorrow when you do your thing and you lose your money, oh, can I help you? How much can I contribute? They don't come up and do these things, but they sit back and worry about funds that are made. And I don't like that personally.
Nah, I fully get that, man. As I said, moving on. How important is preserving Montserrat's culture? Sorry, people, muddled up my words just then. Come again. How important is preserving Montserrat's cultural heritage for the future generation?
Well, let me start with the
Because hold up, we started with the Montserrat UK Festival, and that's what I meant to get to before we moved on. Like, what do you think of, like, say for instance, Montserrat UK Festival, Montserrat St. Patrick's Day when they have it up here and stuff like that? What do you think about events like that?
I feel right now, Montserrat and Montserratians living at home and abroad, they're on this train, this entertainment train, and we could ride it. We have to pick our spots. Everybody can't do the same thing on the same night. We have to pick our spots and maximize our people. For instance, St. Patrick's, great thing, because you have what, 3,000, 4,000 people coming on our shows, and if each person bring $1,000, well, we got $3 million, easy like that. Now we have to pick spots throughout the year where we are going to, but you can't lay on your laurels. And I say this all the time, because St. Patrick's can pay for itself. We have to start doing things to boost St. Patrick's into another level.
Yes.
You have to step it up to another level. Just like with Calabash, you have to step up these things to different levels, because you're trying to encourage not only Montserratians, you're trying to encourage people in general to come and support your functions, support your festivals or your carnivals. And I feel that's where we have to start putting our mindset to how can I do this better? The Montserrat United Kingdom Festival,
Yeah.
I think they did a great service to what bringing Montserratians together.
Considering it's the first time
It's
they
their
ever had
first
that.
time.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, there's some little pointers. I have a social media platform, and I would never go on my platform to say some of the things that I want to suggest to them, because all you're doing is bashing them.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to sit down with them and help them with some stuff that I know I've done promotion. I used to bring up all the kings from Montserrat back in the day, the 2000s, early 2000s. I was bringing all the kings came up to New York,
Yeah.
right? So I know a little bit about how you pull people together, how you schedule a program and stuff like this. It was no fault of their own with the weather,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
It was no fault of their own. But I would love to sit down and chat with these guys.
Nah, definitely, definitely. I agree with that. Yeah, back to that question. How important is it preserving Montserrat's cultural heritage for the future generation?
Well, I feel
'Cause I'm trying to do a small little bit. I'm trying to do a small little
well,
bit.
well, I commend you because when you said you haven't been back to Montserrat since you left, and there's a lot of people like you, but unlike you, you are grasping every little thing you can get on the Montserrat. Here you are, and you're setting up a platform here for younger folks to go and they could replay, they could rewind, and they could learn something or two from your interviewers, right? So you're doing your part. I feel with our UK government, Montserrat UK government,
Yeah.
they need to get networking. They need to get on the ball.
No, I agree with that.
You understand? They need to get on the ball. If there's an Italian festival going on here, what you need to do, try to promote Montserrat on anything that is non-Montserratian. You get on these platform, and once you do your diligence, you have, because it's all about networking. Montserrat have a unique thing about the indigenousness of Montserrat. We are different from all the other Caribbean islands, much different. There's so much things that are different just coming to Montserrat. It's not the same thing going to the White Sand Beach, going to, it's monotonous when it comes to
Yeah.
my part because I've traveled a lot and I know. You come to Montserrat, it's a whole different ball game. And they need to promote this. They need to do what they have to do. The Montserrat office need to send, like they did now, they have a booth up in Antigua to promote Montserrat tourism. They need to have things on different islands. They need to start pushing out pamphlets, leaflets, and stuff on. Just spread them, keep them spreading, keep the social media engaged,
Definitely.
you know?
I definitely agree. Another question. How can the diaspora in a whole contribute to Montserrat's cultural preservation? Because today this kind of hit me, you know. I woke up today and I was gonna come do this interview, and a message Basil Chambers on Instagram, you know, to find out. But I came anyway, just hoping he would still show up, and which he did. So that's why we're having this conversation, people. Right? And it dawned on me. Something dawned on me that blew my mind. Right? And I think you might know this. If the Montserrat population falls below, I think 5,000 or something like that.
I think it's,
But there's a certain threshold
yes,
that if the Montserrat population living in Montserrat falls below a certain
the
threshold,
UK government
the UK government would
can
cease
sees the
that Montserrat,
yes.
right? And I was thinking about that today. And and touch wood. Yeah, when I touch wood,
Mhm.
that would never happen, right?
Right.
Because it dawned on me, I'm thinking, oh, if that was to happen, and as I said, touch board, it would never happen, that England was to seize back control of Montserrat, right? Do you know, in that aspect, we could potentially, as Montserratians, even though we're living in other people's countries and they will take us in, we wouldn't have nowhere of our own to call home. We would
Exactly.
have nowhere of
Nowhere.
our own.
Nowhere.
So then, are we actually Montserratians because we're no one now? We don't have nothing now. Because then, just imagine,
Well, we
by
still do
some-
have Montserrat.
hold up, what is it? Just Ali Wagana, now Montserrat, then they're going to change the name. England changes the name to something else,
Right.
sells it off to some billionaire tycoon, You understand?
Okay.
Montserrat is no more. The tycoon decides, I want to change the name. What can you do? It's my island. You understand?
Right.
Where's our heritage? What do we have left? Apart from
Exactly.
the elders giving us history, writing it in books if they're willing to do that, talk on video if they're willing to do that. Outside of that, where would our history be? Where would our people be? Our people would be bred out and done. There would be no such thing again ever called a Montserrat.
True. True.
So stuff like that literally dawned on me today, and literally it scared me. I'm not even gonna pretend it frightened my soul to think that we're up here doing what? And our country could be seized. And we have to be thankful to the people that are still stayed in Montserrat, living in Montserrat, and other Caribbean islands that's come to live in Montserrat for whatever reason. I've got to thank these people, right? Because I am one of the heathens that I'm talking about haven't been back to my country. You understand? So I'm not pretending, I'm not excluding myself. But yeah, as I said, that's frightening. What's your thoughts on that?
Now, this is where we have to make that plea for population growth. We want to do, and we should facilitate in every way we can to encourage our people to come back home, whether through building homes, whether through grants and loans, whether through when we have openings for viable jobs, we seek our people abroad instead of sending out these tenders all over the Caribbean. You send them to the UK, Montserrat UK government office for our Montserratians to fill these jobs. Because if I'm here and I get a nice lucrative job back in Montserrat, I could probably support my family with what my salary is.
Yeah.
That is another way of bringing back my whole family. Because when you see other island people come in and they bring their whole family, they get all the incentives and stuff for getting the job. Let's do it for our people. Let's try and get our people back with any viable job. You put it to the Montserrat government UK office, or in America you have an establishment like this, and we try and get our people back home. The sooner we get our people back home is the more that more people are going to be encouraged to come back home. And this is my take on it. There's plenty young people in Montserrat, and they are doing their best. They're holding it down. And anyone that comes in the way of, when I hear people being critique of these young people, I'm one of the ones who are coming to their defense, because we need them. We already did our part, and what we should be here doing is not put us out on the outskirts. We should be here giving some little advice here, tweaking here, tweaking there. But they are the ones who's gonna have to control the future.
True,
And we can't pretend that we are going to know everything and do everything for the rest of our lives.
And to be honest, back to this thing about education. I genuinely think for Montserrat to have a good, stable future, if you're talking about the youngsters, the education level that or what they're learning and what they call education needs to change in terms of, if we're looking for a Montserratian, whether it's up here from America or from Montserrat itself, to be the next prime minister, and then that prime minister has helped to build their cabinet. You understand? We also, like, we live in countries like this. We get information in the abundance. We have access to information.
Right.
So my problem is that why isn't, for instance, obviously I'm not really blaming them.
Right.
The parents pushing the young kids towards something more economical, an architect, something to do with finance, something to do with economical growth. You understand where I'm coming from? Stuff that we genuinely need, instead of the BS that we're being taught to go just work in a corner shop. And I don't call that education. I call that nonsense. You understand? The real information that we need to know, I think that is what will drive us forward with the youngsters, having that level of information that's needed, instead of as I said, the you need to learn your ABC, and that ABC would take you into working in retail, and then from retail, then where do you go?
I see your point. I see your point. And I would tell you, I am inviting you to Montserrat. I am inviting you to Montserrat.
And I'm looking to try and
And
get back this year, the end of
I,
this year.
and I am extending an invitation for you to come to Montserrat. And I'm going to tell you this. There are a lot of young people not in the regular office. They're in technical, they're in AI and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Really?
Real. It's just that because
Montserrat?
in Montserrat,
Yeah?
I want you to come. If you see the kind of media personnels where we have down there, people I don't want to call any particular group name, but I know they're gonna get thing because I'm not gonna know all offhand.
Yeah.
But even the government have their own AIs, personnels, and people that are into to security and technical stuff with computers and stuff. You'll be amazed to see what these young people are doing in Montserrat. Let me tell you, St. Patrick's is young people controlling all that amount of people coming to
Yeah.
Montserrat. Is young people. And I don't go to too many of the functions because their functions start at 12 and finish 10 o'clock the next day. My functions start 6 and done 10 o'clock at night. Well, literally.
Yeah.
But I love when they put their plans. You see, just like the UK, Montserrat Festival UK, they've been advertising since St. Patrick's.
Yeah.
They have a 1 hour program every Tuesday on ZGB. If people did not show up, it's not a lack of advertisement. It's not a lack. It's either weather inclement or people just say they're not coming, they're not supporting.
And
But they did.
inclement.
And
people still
look
showed up.
how many people were there. Listen, I have to commend these people for what they did. And I'm hoping that some groups over there in the United States can find a date, find something to do similar like this. We have to put our things out there in the world.
No, that's true. I agree. Like, Lighter Castle.
Yes,
A soca artist.
yes.
Him and I was having a conversation the other day, and I think Apprentice was part of the conversation. And we was basically talking about, you know what? From since the days of Hero Arrow, we've not been on the map when it comes to even stuff like music. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yes.
And I'm trying to tell the guys, listen, if that's one thing us as musicians can contribute to, let's try and spearhead, what we're lacking in. You
Mhm,
understand?
mhm.
Because clearly we have musicians,
Yes,
but
we do.
our problem is, promotion,
Promotion, marketing,
of these musicians
getting
and
it
their
out there,
skills.
yes.
Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yes.
Right? So also I think, also that's a great way. But one thing I've kind of noticed as well is a lack of support from one's own people.
That too.
And sometimes, let's be honest, sometimes one's own people don't really know, maybe one and two don't deal with such an artwork. You understand?
Right.
But if you do know, like we've been talking about this as well, lack of support, it's crazy.
The
Because, for instance, sorry, I don't even mean to cut you. I was at the Montserrat
heritage.
festival. I performed at the Montserrat Heritage as well. Obviously, people didn't know my music as yet, and
Right.
people were getting used to me. You
Right.
understand?
Yeah.
Decent reception. Went to the Montserrat festival, UK. I was like the second performer on. You know.
Yeah, I think I saw you.
Yeah, it was like, okay, some of the people didn't know what to expect. I had a decent-ish reception. You
Right.
understand? And you came out, you did your thing, your Montserrat. Lighter came out, he did his thing. Taboo came out, he did his thing. Montserrat.
Mhm.
And obviously, I no gripe to Farmer Nappy at all, because Farmer Nappy on the day was excellent.
Oh yeah,
Absolute. This man is a
Yes.
performer.
he is.
He is an artist, right? And this is not for him, and this is not against him, right? When he came out on stage, people like they were pushing people into the stage.
Mm-hmm.
Non-Montserrat, by the way, right?
Right.
Pushing people into the stage to hear him, get close, to listen
Get
to
close
his
to
music.
them. Right.
But when it was us, our Montserratians, they stayed away.
Yeah.
Like they stayed a good distance away, even though some was engaging
Yes.
and still watching. I'm not saying there wasn't, but the distance. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say?
I
The
know what you're
support
saying.
level.
I know what you're saying.
I get it. Farmer Nappy's big artists. You
Mhm.
understand? It's kind of like Vibes Cartel touchdown. The whole park would be up here.
Will be up here.
Even the vendors will stop selling food and be up
Right,
here.
right.
You understand?
Yes.
But listen, we're from the same country. I'm not asking you to buy now. I'm just asking you to come close, be a bit intimate with me, and listen to
Right.
my music.
Exactly. True.
You understand?
True.
So I genuinely don't think that support level is there from our people. I don't think they want to see one goes above them because they probably think that one is going to leave them instead of help them. I don't know what it is.
If I could find, I'm not gonna find an answer for it, but I think our people, because they know, because we know each other, it's fine to sit back and stand back and appreciate what's going on.
Okay,
You're
yeah.
going to have one or two who go there and jump. Kenzie had some people there on the ground getting on
Yeah, yeah.
wild and crazy, as Kenzie will. Scrappy same way, lighter. My songs will never do that for any crowd because I don't do the jump and whine. I am a message person. I speak on Montserrat,
Even if you don't do the jump on wine,
but I hope that they come
and
forward.
engage in my
Right.
message.
But when I look at
Is
the
it?
when I look at the people, because when I look at the audience out there, you could see that they're listening. And this is what I look for also.
Okay, okay.
You understand? Eventually, when maybe I get a name of myself where I'm a household person and I say, come forward, they will respond to me. But I know right now, they're going to be really apprehensive with some of us based on the fact that we are not the Farmer Nappies or the Kenzies or the Lighters. You know what I'm saying? But I don't take it as a negative.
Of course not. No,
I take it as if they're going to warm up into me eventually.
Nah,
because
definitely.
because of us that start the show, cause them to stay around. Because if we were boring, maybe other people would say, well,
Oh,
let's
this
go
year,
home,
man.
man. I don't want to stay here, not even for Farmer Nappy. So we had to hold our own.
True, true.
But I think personally, eventually they're going to be another hero, another arrow, another big name. Scrappy is right there, and I'm sure Scrappy got his international crowd because he's all over Europe. And you have Lighter and these guys, they're all over the place. Taboo, all of them, they're singing around the UK. So eventually there will be somebody who's gonna be more profound, you know.
And I'm just starting as well. Listen, people, I'm just starting my journey. So hopefully I would love to become a household name, but we know it takes hard work. You get me? I'd love to be a representation of Montserrat when it comes to the musical side of things. You know, look out for me, people. I'm
Yes,
coming.
yes.
Rooty.
And we want young people. I want to see young. Listen, I'm in it, not for no money, not for no fame. I'm in it. Let me tell you, you don't know how hard it is to plan for a program, to plan for a show. It's very hard. I have work to do. I have animals. Bro,
What you mean,
I
no?
no, not that. You don't know. I'm not. Let me tell you. People think it's easy just go on that program there. You know?
Yeah.
That's not how it works, bro. And I reached the stage where I shouldn't even want to do this because it's hard. But we have to hold on. Hopefully, we get some young people to come in and fit in. Because why leave and then everything crash? If 6 or 7 of us that's over 50 leave, it's gonna crash. So we and I respect Taboo and Kenzie and Beer, and we have Lighter and them young. We have Kenzie and these guys, Cupid and these guys.
Oh, yeah,
And
forgot about Cupid.
yes, I hope that they come in every year. so that we could hold out and hold on for the young people, because we are very small in population. So it's not many of us that are in Trinidad. You got guys singing with wheelchairs, guys coming out with cane and walkers and doing their performance. They're 90 years old.
But you know what? One difference. Let me change my tongue. One difference me notice, right? The Trinidad, them we go hard for them own. I say what? I'm a boy do that tune, eh? Nah, man, we must like up this and comment on
Right.
YouTube, man.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
We must push the video, yeah, man.
Yeah.
You understand? Different level of support. And guess what? You know, as I said, you don't always need to do all of this and engaging like that. Listen, but
right.
guess what? You know what helps us as artists? Just imagine your post comes across 1,000 Montserrat, but only 50 of them just chooses to
To do
like,
something.
comment,
Yes.
and just post it up on their story.
Right.
That 50 that just did that goes a long way.
Long way, a long way.
Because now, that now is getting put up into the algorithm. It's telling the algorithm, oh, it just came out.
Yes.
People actually like to see this and they're commenting on it. Oh, let me push it further and see what
Yes.
happens.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But if our post come across our people and they just, without even clicking on it and see something and comment or like, it don't really go anywhere. You understand where I'm coming from? And I'm not asking for, we're not asking for a lot. I'm just saying, if it's positive content, if somebody's trying to do something good, it doesn't take your whole day, it doesn't even take 30 seconds to like and put an emoji.
True. True. I feel personally our people are not engaging enough. They
Yeah.
take these things here for granted, or you just listen to it, or you read the comment and just slide to the next. But if they understand the importance, this could be another way of getting Montserrat out there. This is another way of getting tourism to Montserrat. If 50 people, as what's your name again?
Alias.
Alias, as 50, if 50 people like or comment or even share, those 50 have different friends than me, have different than you. You would not believe the impact it has over there on social media platform. And folks, sit down a little bit, just take a little time to send a like, to send a share, and you would not believe you will be doing your part.
Yeah, man. You're good. We're literally finished now. Do you have anything? Do you literally have anything to say to the people, the Montserrat people, the wider diaspora? Any message?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. Let me go a little closer here. And
Go on, say your message.
I'm going to put out a plea out here to our Monsterations abroad. We would love for you folks to come back home. We would like you to engage in the Montserrat government, UK government here. Send in your CV. Send in something about yourself or someone else. Put yourself out there. Let them know you are willing to do this, you're willing to do that. You have this to your name, you have this, you're experiencing this, experiencing that. And the more we get people to engage with our local UK government office and they send those back to Montserrat, we would have a better, we could have a better network where work skills, where whether it's entertainment, whether it's culture in any way, arts, crafts, just do what you have to do to put Montserrat in the forefront again. We were once the talk of the region, man. We were once, and it can happen again. We only have to put our hearts and hands together, get it done. Stop the bickering and the fighting and the nitpicking, and we will get it done. Bro, Elias, thank you, man.
Jeez, people, Ali Waganians in the wide diaspora, you hear what going. We are, we're encouraging you, to support one another, support our country. Let's not lose our country. Let's educate our younger generation on the important things. You understand? And people, it's silent business. You know what time it is. I'm just a messenger. Don't shoot.